both from the Dust 2s, especially versus Vatic, dropping 40 in regular time and 60 in 1 overtime. This map, so AWP heavy, it is quite a stark difference between Dream and Smee, what we've seen so far. Dream, yes, is getting frags, but they're not really the most impactful ones, being on the other side of the map. And
I mean, you referenced Epic Land. As long as it's not an Epic Land's grand finale, I'm happy.
go on then, mate, go on.
No?
Explain your point. You're trying to BM him.
It's not BM, it's flat out. There's 2 stars of Smooth.
There's a difference between that. This is on HLTV. Just
But
wait.
I was the one apparently BMing.
Yeah, that's not BM. That's just, you know, you got to get the stats somehow.
My point on Smooth, just to actually put some factual basis behind it, because I'm all for that. I'm all for. There's no need to make comments without any actual basis behind them.
No, it's good things. I mean, having a 1.26 rating.
Yeah. I mean, the point more was based around the whole Epic Land's final thing. The biggest thing there is the fact that his performance is so fluctuating, so varying, so he needs to step up in this matchup. That's a given. He needs to be there for his team.
Yeah, right now, his team is pushing up short, trying to get information towards mid. Dream holding the angle behind the barrel. Definitely his advantage, but it's going to be Brody C getting one. Can he get any more as he can? Observe the way you're looking at because Brody's found 2.
Oh, and a third coming in for him, and a 4th! Brody C, are you kidding me? How are you getting away with that? What on earth is this? Jacob, the last man remaining. Artistic stuff coming out from him. 77 HP on Jacob, not even a number I think it's worth looking at this point. Can Brody get the 5th?
So
well,
bad.
Smooth just going to steal it away.
Smear's like, my stats. I need my stats. F off, Brody. Can have your moment later on. Anyway, with the 4K there, I mean, we didn't see the shots, but I imagine they were crazy.
I imagine they were crisp.
Crisp indeed. Brody C already buying up that M4 because he's just had that 4K round of his life. USB headshots in mid. So, CAZ on the force by Deagle's armor. And Dream only a Desert Eagle to his name. So, no AWP, sorry. No armor for him means an AWP for him in the first buy round. And CeX will hold on to this lead and not fall down to this force buy. And we're looking at 2-0, and then obviously versus the full eco, hopefully, with no bomb going down in the first round. 3-0. And then from there, that first buy round will be so important for CeX if they can get the ball rolling on the CT side.
Well, for one thing for sure, you set out the pathway in front of CeX, but whether they can utilize that as a runway forward and allow them to fly on through this in terms of a solid first half start, that's one thing in itself. Already Brody is going to find the first. Bit of an inching short push, but not one that's really too crazy or too fancy, to be honest. CAZ, they're kind of just drips and drabs moving themselves around the map, and not too much thought to it so far. There's not really too much control either. MCK free peeking out towards mid, just trying to find a pick and almost an opportunity to say, you know what, let's go here instead.
So close.
He's so close, but
yet so
so far.
Hey. Anyway, the reason for that is he's trying to find an opening for his team. If he found the pick towards window or door, would have gone towards B. If they found the pick towards... Oh, they've already found the pick. Brody C falls. I mentioned him being the X factor on the CT side, but one thing that is definitely a big X factor is Smooth. And right now... Oh, well, I'll take that back because he's just fallen. Jacob's found 2.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting way for him to allow that one, honestly. The flash certainly blinding. But now it's on towards Cinder. Can he actually make the jumping shot work? No, but the boost is going to come on in, and that's going to catch them completely off guard. They don't know how to respond. The long shots are being taken. They're tapping with a USP at this sort of range. It's madness. But is it actually going to work? Ozzy with the Deagle just tapping on through, trying to find something. But he is stuck. It is not going to happen. The defuse is going to be found. And CeX, not clean by a long shot, but is around.
Bomb did go down, though, so... Oh, I believe this is a definitely not a tactical one. You wouldn't pull a tactical pause going into a full eco.
Yeah, I'm sure it's an early technical pause of some variety. It's a
I
shame.
mean, some teams do it. Some teams do it on the eco, so that leading into the full buy round, you know, they got their head screwed on, they're ready for it, and it gives them a break. The problem is, that's always later into the game, and right now, only 2 rounds in, it's definitely going to be technical. Hopefully, it doesn't last too long because I would like to go home before 1 AM.
I mean, you're a big fan of watching CS until 1 AM. I mean, you play ACA anyway. What's the difference?
Prefer face it, but
not biased to the 2 platforms, of course. I mean, well, it's so early. It's such a shame that the technical pause is now because, you know, I'm looking at this and going, okay, what can we dig our teeth into in terms of analysis and overall just pick apart these plays? There's not too much there. CeX, they started off with a firecracker pistol round, which, I mean, by all means try and analyze the pistol round, but effectively what it comes down to is...
Edge shot.
Yeah, just going to get an edge shot. Second round, it was a bit more of a mixed affair. The boost was fairly nice, though, and that was a nice way to recover off the back of Smooth not making it work with the rifle close range.
Yep.
Anything else you think we've kind of not highlighted, but deservingly anyway?
The money for the CT side winning the 2 rounds in a row haven't been the cleanest. You saw the 2 versus you saw the 2 versus 1 there, and the bomb going there for CAZ. So buying into these pistols, if they can take a few more rifles and guns out of the CEX CT side, then that means going to the first buy round, their money's going to be quite low. And that could definitely make a massive impact into the AWP, because look right now, Cinder has 3.2k. If he falls right now, or if multiple players die, there might not be an AWP for Smooya.
Yeah, that could be both a curveball for CeX and a positive for CAZ. Has to be said, Smooya was at times actually not opting for the AWP, but does do as a map where you have to arguably say that that is the way forward. But nonetheless, let's get into this one. MCK looking like he wants to charge on towards that B site, but a Molotov is what he's greeted with, and that alone is going to stop him dead in his tracks along with the rest of his team as CAZ. They don't quite need to feel the need to push on through that. Instead, they are going to wait. They're going to look for that pick, and they get it straight on towards Thomas.
It's not quite one dig, but it still counts. And now with the let's say something else there. With the Tech 9, gets one, gets traded though by Roma. And now on this 3 versus 4, no arm on these players. Brody C makes it 3 versus 3, equalizes the numbers. Now let's see the boost over the smoke, trying to catch a frag and a player. Hello. Both of them are so greedy.
Hard work. It's
both of them want. Anyway, Smooya finds the kill through the smoke. You would have thought. Anyway, 2 versus 3 now. No arm on the final 2 players. If you get their bomb down, they can get more utility leading into the first buy round. So
the fact that that's even in contention, this is ridiculous. It's going to be both frags, but
the bomb is down.
The bomb is down, but you have to look at CeX and go, okay, they're playing for trades. That should have been around where they use their utility, they pin down the site.
Yeah, and actually, the fact that Cinder fell, I say fell, died. There's a difference between falling over and actually dying. He fell 6 foot to his grave in that round. And look at the money I mentioned before that if CAZ can keep getting a few kills here and there, the money on CX's side won't be too strong. And right now, if they lose this, they might be, forced into quite an awful quasi-buy. But it's going to be the auto sniper for Thomas. Usually goes towards the back plat area and just holds the line there, but it's going to be Dream with his AWP. 2 shots, generally loses to 1 shot. Good flash, peeks with it. Spots him, sprays him down. Actually, it's the headshot. I spoke about 2 shots, but in Thomas's hand, only needs 1.
Dream, he legged him.
Yeah, actually, ironically, the auto sniper gets a 1 bullet kill, and the AWP actually tags the player. Fair play. Thomas, he wins that. It's going to be the 1-man lead already. 1 minute 20 on the clock, and the bomb is still top mid, so the T's haven't quite given away what they want to do. So, leading into this round, if CAZ lose this, they're going to be under so much pressure economically and just the scoreline. Let's see. Smooya gets flashed off the angle when he does fall back, and it's quite obvious where he's going to fall back to now. Car. The question is, mid. Do they feel like they can expose and exploit the mid to B? And with those players going towards tunnel, it's looking like they shall, because these 2 B players are on an island versus the other 4 of the T's.
It has to be said though, CAZ, they're taking this one ever so slowly. It's not quite really rushing into things, and the concern you've got, we talked about an auto sniper.
Yep.
That's still
Here
sitting
we go. This
ever
is
so
it.
present, but he's solo. He beats one out.
No!
Only finds one, quickly ended. But what can the rest of the CT side do? It's going to be 1-for-1 trades across the board. We are on a 3v2, but don't face into door. Even if it's smoke, generally not a smart plan. Smooya, he's known for those shots through the smoke, so he was lined up raring to go. The bomb is going to find its way down, but MCK...
Triple tunnel, this is new.
He wants to go to the tunnels. He's met with triple tunnels.
He can leave window now. Did you know, did they?
He's mollied
He
off.
mollied it. But the timing is still in his favor, because he does get towards window now, facing, doesn't quite get the shots onto Smooya. He needed that kill to make the 1 versus 2, and right now, in the 1 versus 3, the bomb is being diffused right under his nose. Or his ears, because he didn't quite hear it.
Yeah. We don't see it. He doesn't hear it. The same result. 4-0 for CEX.
Brody C is 9-1. I told you, it's the X factor in my eyes.
Yeah, really stepping up hugely in this series, and
He might not be the best A-Site Mirage player I've ever seen, but I tell you what, on Dust 2, he's definitely bringing it.
early days. Only the 5th round though, so let's see what he can do transitioning to say the 10th round. We'll set that as the benchmark, because MCK going to push up towards long. Smooya, he's always going to take that shot, and he's always going to hit it.
Now the boost onto site is going to peer into pit. Holding the left side angle. Dream is in pit right now, or about to go into pit. Jake as well. Oh, my read's wrong. This player, Carl, then resume towards Carl. Let's see what he can do. Doesn't do anything because he's flashed and completely blind. Jacob finds 1, 2. But it's going to be a double reply for Thomas before Roma can trade him. 2 versus 2. They know where Smooya is. He's only 13 HP. So it's going to be so hard for him to get anything out of his position. Especially now because he does fall to Aussie, because Aussie finds 2, and that's 2 versus 2. 1-4.
That sole play base in that round came down to flashes. If the
Yep.
flashes were not thrown from CAZ, would have been completely different, but they were literally perfect. Every single player on that push was blind.
I wouldn't say every flash was perfect because the player that died first
What
went before the flashes came.
I'm looking
But
at the
apart
CT
from
side.
that, yeah, apart from that, perfect. And now
Yeah.
the smoke, so the flash will flash short. So there's two players that are boosted right now, trying to get the early frag, will be flashed. And now Roma can peek and get it maybe. Smooya whiffs, he's going to re-peek it. Of course he is. Smooya lad. Let's see.
Confident.
Does he catch it? No, he doesn't. Gets cold feet and falls back. Flash off the angle. His teammate Brody sees, he's still there. Smokes off the angle. Pretty bad smoke though.
Having some thoughts, Ozzy just saying, you know what, do I want to tap this or
Double
not?
smoke that.
Yeah, the communication seems to be a bit awry.
I think he realised it was a bad smoke, so getting Smooya to smoke it as well. Two's better than one. Molly out towards the cubby. And now all the pressure is on Rezu with this UMP. Let's see what we can do. No flash. It's going to be dry peaks. Does he get one? Ozzy gets the frag. And now Jacob stomping up short. Let's see if we can find any players. Brody C faces but does fall. Cinder finds the frag on Roma. It's a one-man lead for CAZ. We saw beforehand once they have the one-man lead, that Jimmy don't lose it, but the whiff from Dream might end up haunting him as he slowly faces towards the players. Flash comes in. He's flashes the angle. The peak comes in from Cinder, but he is traded by MCK.
We need to see some sort of quick, long aggression coming out from Thomas now. He has to bite the bullet and go, because if he doesn't, CAZ, they're going to take even more control of short. And the harder they dip their fingers in, the tougher it is going to be for them to retake. Smooya lands a shot on towards Jacob. The smoke is going to go down towards Cross. A bit of a dodgy one, but that's not really what counts at the end of the day. It's all about their aggression towards short and how they can calculate it.
Though. He's smoked off. The kid's on Smooya. He's jumping. He's trying to tag him up. Will he get it? It's all down to RNG at this point. It's all RNG. Smooya kills him. No time. Ozzy, mate. Should be playing Hearthstone, not CS. Completely top decked him, I believe the term is. I don't play card games.
Halfling caster gonna love you. Yeah, RNG played a pretty big factor in that round. Just couldn't quite get it towards the end, but at the end of the day, time still favoured them. They were able to pull through. Smooya gonna bear down in towards mid.
Oh, not like that. When you smoke off mid doors, the only place the tee-off is going to hold is the top of that smoke. And the only place you can peek from is the top of that smoke. So if you do it, you have to peek when the smoke blooms to catch the player off guard. But unfortunately for him, Smooya just walks into exactly where the crosshair was. But enough about that. Early frags come in. 5 players alive now. Cinder's going to try and save this AWP, maybe. It was the full save going into this. Only the AWP saved on Smooya. That's why he did go for the pick, because he tried to make it 5 versus 4. So the play was right, the execution wasn't.
Look at Rezu. He is right behind Roma and he doesn't even realise it. Decided, you know what, I don't need a knife. I'm just going to tap with the pistol and get myself the rifle. Should almost certainly be looking for the save. An AWP and a rifle. CeX, they couldn't be more happier. Christmas, huge for them.
Christmas.
Christmas came early.
I want a round for Christmas, not an AK and an AWP.
You know, some people, they don't get that great of Christmas presents. You just have to deal with it, Snods.
Think about the kids in Africa. They could use the... Oh, okay. 4-2. 4-3.
That is not something you can say. Wow, that completely caught me off guard. I was not expecting that far of a blunt response.
It's been a long day.
You got a slight filter on this, not gonna lie. Wow. Apologies to any fans who are offended by that one.
Nah, that's
all good.
Right, 4-3.
4-3.
Going to be one round leader for CEX, and actually saving that AWP and that AK is going to be so good for the economy. 4,600 or 2 of the players there. Still there, the 4x comes out for CAZ. And the money is decent.
Decent it is going to be. So there's going to be a triple stack over towards long for CeX. A fairly standard stuff, but the big difference, the curveball, is going to be just how aggressive the T-side are going to be, and it's going to be a quick flurry backwards and forwards. They're trading all the punches, but who is going to come up with the victory? Well, so far we just don't quite know. It's a 3v3, but Roma straight through the edges of that smoke snaps onto the crosshair of Cinder. And with almost perfection, it will end his life, and CAZ now looking to decide, you know what, we've got the man advantage. Why push on towards A? Why not just bide our time, sit over towards long? Just try and bait them out even further, see if anyone else is going to peek, and from there, then they can make the decision on where they want to push. Go for the educated guess.
Once again, though, CAZ with the one-man lead. We've seen before, once they have the one-man advantage, they always play it out with the trades. And once it goes to the one-for-one trades, obviously the man advantage, the team with the man advantage will lead in that sense. So, Thomas and Smooya slowly rotating towards mid, trying to find information. Maybe gambling at this point, because if the bomb does go towards A, then it's going to save.
Door just going to be held ever so patiently. And that's got to be something to be said for CeX right now. That's not quite deciding, you know, we have no information, we have to make a play, or we have to do something. No, they're actually sitting tight. So I like this from them. I think Smooya and Thomas playing this one to the best of their ability, but whether they can hit the shots when it counts is a whole different ball game. As we know that so far CAZ have just thrown one sultry smoke here and there. Still not even deciding where they want to go. It's just going to be a lot of mid-aggression. They're trying to catch Smooya off guard, and they're going to get an opportunity. The shots will be missed, but he's sitting stuck towards Xbox. There's no way he can survive this. Thomas is going to find the trade, leaving him into a 1v2, but he's pushing in towards Dream, and he's going to be hended with an AWP standing upon the tips of short.
4-4, money, not really reset now, but money is low for CeX. They could buy the AWP on that M4 onto Smooya and Cinder. It's a hard call to force this, and instead it will be the quasi buy. So, hopefully seeing 5-4 in favor of CAZ, unless we see crazy things happen. Dream, they're spamming the smoke. He's going to give the call to his teammates that there can be a player lower, and both of them are looking lower. Smooya finds, sorry, Thomas finds one. What are you looking at, Ozzy? Your teammates just died. You've turned around, saw him, and you turned back around. But anyway, enough of that, because Rezu, close range, finds one. And Brody C gets another one. MCK, 22 HP in the 1 versus 3. I spoke that this should be a 5-4, but right now, miracles.
I don't know what we're watching. I don't know who's even playing. But goddamn, that was a round. The pistols doing all of the work. 5-4. Economy. Well, you said how much of a slaughterhouse it was for CeX. Look at CAZ. They're scrambling things together off the back of individual banks. Cinder, one of the high rollers, Smooya up there as well, and they will get themselves together to a prospect that's not exactly uncomfortable, and open 2 AK-47s and 2 Tech-9s on a T side. You can do a whole lot with that, especially with, albeit limited utility, but 3 or 4 smokes. But whether it's enough and not be broken, who knows? The nade is going to be pinpoint perfect, and Jacob's life claimed with almost ease.
We spoke about CAZ having the one-man lead. Let's see how they play with the deficit. This is where teams really do show their true colours, because it's all fine and dandy when your team has the lead. Let's see if they can play nice and smart. Group, play contact, get the trade game going, and try and make it 2 versus 3 or 1 versus 2. Try and win off that. Smooya, though, has the good read here. So does Dream. He will score the head. Yes, he does. It's going to be the frag. Smooya sprays the smoke, expecting more. Falls for CT. Flashes the short push, and now he shall peek again. Can he find any more?
A bit of way too much, more than he can shoot. And Zozzy is going to punish him yet again with ease, a recurring effect. But Thomas on the refrag, straight on the ball, swings on around, punishes Zozzy. Now looking for just MCK, and well, he's too low to take that fight with the teammates. Easily can make it work. Thomas is going to tap on through though, starting to put on a bit of show, but still, I'm going to just sit back so far as MCK is going to try and almost just hold the angle at this point. A couple of shots come out from Brody C from short. The 1v1s, they're not quite going to be claimed. There's a double peek from CeX. Will make it happen.
Such a good spray there. MCK couldn't quite pinpoint where he wanted to put his attention, towards that ramp area or towards short. Well played there. Smart play there from Brody C. Completely catches MCK off guard. Now we are seeing CeX win another round. And CAZ, I mean, I mentioned before how they play with the man disadvantage. From a 4 versus 5 into a 1 versus 3. It's not really the cleanest play.
Yeah, not by a long shot. Remind me, don't make sure they get hired as doctors, because goddamn, they're infectious. So it is going to be CeX getting themselves up towards short, but quick aggression yet again coming out from CAZ. But Jacob, what was that? Goes for a second. He's spraying on away, and he makes it work. Infectious, who knows at this point how I did to get that working, but Smooya with that rifle is going to be looking to end it before it can even get going, but the bomb is going down. Got his work cut out for him. He does have aid from his team, of course, Thomas and Cinder, but oh, Smooya's dead. Cinder's still standing. We'll get a pick with the AWP, but how far is this going to go?
Hopefully not too far, because Dream should find that frag. Yes, he does. This is the 3rd, or is it the 4th full eco we've seen? There was one on overpass. Yeah, 4th. This is the 4th full eco we've seen. I mean, last round, it was the CT's playing far too close and aggressive towards platform on B. This round is players playing too aggressive towards short.
Buys the AWP, 357s, all the utility, and a UMP on Thomas.
Right.
That's a buy.
I mean, fair play. I mean, the idea is to get the first pick towards lower, but the problem is they're all out long. And Rez with the 5-7, I bet you wish you had an M4 there, mate, because he gets completely destroyed as MCK takes him out of the sky. And now the fast rotate comes in from Smooya. Can he run the frag? Oh, yes, he can.
It's worth his weight in gold. He needs to do so much work. Thomas and Brody, they will combine with these pistols to at least make this one seem doable. Eventually they will fall, though. It's all going to be on Brody C and Thomas. The UMP at a 5-7, but look at Ozzy. He's approached this one very, very smart. The flash is going to go off.
What is he?
But Ozzy, where are you flicking to? He's nervous. He's looking for someone short, but there's no one there. You're seeing ghosts. You're seeing visions, Ozzy. Focus on the task at hand. Brody, he's there. He's ready to hunt you down. But are you actually going to be able to hit the shot? So far, so good. Finally pieces it back together and is able to claim that headshot.
He's panicking here. I mean, he's holding so many angles, but in the end, he does find it. His aim is just like...
Take a chill pill.
Yeah.
Does get 3 kills. Can't
It's-
take that one
yeah,
away from him.
I mean,
CeX,
6-6.
look at their money.
6-6 money is awful on the CEX side, and the 2 versus... Was that 2 yeah, 2 versus 3 there from CAZ. As they do take it. Resu this game, though. 3 for 8. Definitely going to have to be seeing a better second half from him if they want any chance of winning this, not going out early. With spray, 1, 2, can he get 3? No, he can't, because Brody C does end his highlight reel. But Jacob comes in and takes down Brody C, and now we are currently seeing Smooya on the flag. I don't know how he's got here. I mean, gets an AK, and he's behind these players. Oh, shoots too early, and they don't even know he's there. Oh, no.
CAZ, they've unplugged their headphones. They finally at least use their mouses to turn on around and get the frag, but that could have been a complete different round. But thankfully they do keep it intact nonetheless. 6-7 is a scoreline, and CAZ starting to step ahead. But they have to face CeX on a full by now. 5 rifles. No AWP on Smooya, most notably.
Yeah, and we're probably going to be seeing some CT aggression. Maybe a push towards B. Maybe a double push towards the tunnels. That's the word I think of. About to call it apps. Anyway, enough about that. Smoke towards long. Flashes come out. 5 players for the T side. Trade there early. It's going to be the boost on the smoke. What on earth is this?
Smooya, he's sitting tight. He's got himself on that lip, and he is not going to be moving a muscle. He's just going to let himself do his job. Eventually going to drop him down as it fades, and it gets ended straight away. A position rendered useless as Roma gets a double kill for himself. Brody is at least going to pick up one in the mess that is their long hold. But look at Thomas. He's right behind them. Roma already has an idea that a flank is definitely on the cusp of coming, so drops down a double defensive Molotov, just making sure that nothing in that direction is going to be coming there at all. But look at Cinder. The fact he even gets a frag there is ridiculous, let alone making it now possible for Thomas. The double face from CAZ.
Hello, interface. Goodbye, HUD. There we go.
We don't need no HUD.
8-6. Scouts as well. They might double face mid with this. Try and get the tag. Try and go. We need double face mid with the scout. Orb kills 1. If you both land the shot, yeah, we're going to see it now. They're trying to make it a 4 versus 4. But instead, it's a 4 versus 5 in favour of CAZ. We've seen how they played with the man advantage. Let's see what happens towards long. RT sprays 1. Gets it. Oh, that's a nice flick there. Smooya falls, and now we're seeing Cinder in the 1 versus 5. Low HP on some of these players, but 9-6 half.
It's got to be said, CeX have done the exact same style of long hold every round. It gets a bit not even going to try and pronounce that, butchering that well and truly, it gets a bit
Monotone.
old. Yeah, that was what I was going for, but apparently the English language is pretty hard to pronounce.
Especially
So-
after casting for 7 hours or so.
I mean, they've done double this. It's a grind.
Sorry, Ard. Anyway, 1 versus 5. There's now 1 versus 3 and a 1 versus 2. Oh my goodness, it's hardly any time though, so doesn't really change too much, apart from the scoreboard. Let's take a look at that actually going to this second half. So, Aussie leading the charge, 16 to 10, 7 MVPs. Wow. Thomas and Brody C as well. It's Rezu really falling behind, and hopefully on this T side for his team, he can really step up and bring the firepower.
You can certainly hope, of course. This scoreline, you can't necessarily read too much into it in terms of, okay, they got 6 on the T side or 9 on their CD side or anything, because it is does too, right? It's kind of a 50-50 affair. But what you can do is look at these two teams and look at these individuals and go, okay, where do they slot in best to these lineups? And are they more comfortable on the T side, for example? Smooya, a player that is known for being able to dismantle teams on a CT side via calculated aggression.
Well, T side, he does like to go towards mid. That's one thing. Have a teammate flash close mid, have a rifle, or even just a Tech 9, clear out the close mid doors. If you see nothing, have the AWP peek towards window, have the AWP peek towards the B doors. And then obviously, after you peek that, peek towards CT and try and find a frag on a rifler, because it's very rare you have an AWP early on, anyway, towards mid. Usually see them towards A.
For sure. Just kind of looking at the scoreboard as well and just looking to see individuals and who has kind of stepped up amongst the crowd and who has sat down below. And Again, don't want to rail on a specific player. Rezu, though, 4 to 11. Not necessarily having the biggest impact in the world, but looking for it in other places, perhaps.
Well, you got to think as well. He brings far more than just firepower to this team. He is the IGL, good
Exactly.
comms, and a leader.
That's what you need. You need a clear leader. And fragging, well, as much as there's a minimum baseline required, if he's catching a couple of impacts here and there, I'm happy.
Catching impact, but maybe not catching bodies. But hopefully, on his T side, we can change that.
On the flip side, anyone else who stings out from the CAZ side that comes to mind?
Stings out. That's a phrase.
Yeah, that's a phrase.
Damage done. Smoothly leading the charge there. Obviously, with the pistols and when he picks up those AKs, he does do a lot of body damage into his players, apart from the frags, obviously. Dream leading the charge again.
I'm curious on JKM and Rezu in that selection, if we can make that adjustment. There we go.
Oh, wow, yeah. 600 damage dealt after 15 rounds. That's about 40 ADR.
Yeah. It's not a comfortable spot by a long shot, but nonetheless, it's time to stop staring into the grass. We're out of school. We can focus on what's at hand, which is looking at some Counter-Strike. As it is going to be a repetitious style coming to play for the CTs.
Let's see if Dream or MCK can repeat. I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be MCK. Every time I cast him, it's such strong pistol rounds, we'll maybe be able to see it. Let's see. Flashed off the ankle. Let's see how many he can get. One. Spray ain't gets one anymore. It's going to be Dream to chime in as well. MCK as well gets another one. Smooth, though. Top mid trades him. 2 versus 4. Can MCK get the third here? Instead, he shot back off smartly. Just want to make it a 3 versus 2 because it's far easier to win than a 4 versus 2. And they are stacked up as well with a smoke on Smooth. So they could smoke off mid to B. But the problem is that Aussie has pushed this tunnel, and now he shall be behind them if they do opt to go towards B. And Cinder with the bomb may just leave Smooya out on an island all alone. There he goes.
Good night, sweet dreams. Enjoy what is going to take place as Aussie is going to finally get put to rest, Smooya. But it's a 1v3. Not quite a 2v4 and such, but
Not like this.
difficult.
Nice.
Not like this is more thankful of phrases.
It's just, I don't want to see. Was it? He was. Yes, it was Endpoint versus.
You don't want to see a Jesp situation on Mirage.
Yeah, which team was it? It was CAZ. Yeah, it was CAZ. I don't want to see a replay of CAZ just one by one peeking into Jesp and one by one peeking into Smooth up. Anyway, pistol round now. 1 for 1 in terms of pistols in this final map, and you can really look at this as the best of 1. All the other maps don't really count for anything. It's all down to this, and 1 for 1 on pistols is definitely the fairest. But that also means that CAZ in the previous half won 9 gun rounds, and CEX only won 1. Sorry, 3.
That was Chris from MCK, straight on towards the cranium of Smooya. Ending any sort of impact he could possibly try and have, as JKM just going to sit towards the door and gives Thomas a friendly greeting as he tries to barge on through. He's fairly unwelcome on the entirety of the T side. Clearly CAZ not quite the receiving type when it comes down to housewarming gifts. But nonetheless, 11-6 is the scoreline, and you got to look at CeX, you got to look at their economy. Of course, it's a given. 12-6, that's a pretty uncomfortable standpoint, and 6 rounds, it's not necessarily the be-all end-all of life, but it is a tough one to bring back.
Especially as we are looking potentially at 6-12. CAZ doubling the scoreline of CEX, and I pictured it to be 16-10. And right now it's looking like it's going to be 16-10 in favour of CAZ, as CEX, they've really fallen flat since that first map. I mean, what they need to do is work off Smooth's op, flash for him in mid, flash for him up short, allow him to get the openings, because in the retakes, so far anyway, I feel like CAZ, from what they've shown, potentially retaking that. So try and make it 4 versus 5 or 3 versus 4. Have a 1-man lead in your advantage, in your lead, 1-man lead to your name, and go from there. Oh my goodness, so close. Is he going to face with Thomas as well? Yes, he will. But no frags for him, but information gathered. And this means that it's most likely not going to be B unless these players opt to stack up towards mid, smoke off mid to B, and try and split that way. And they're already out mid. Let's see what happens. Thomas now spraying towards Dream through the smoke. Dream tags him. He actually headshots his teammate. Smooya only hit for about 30 there, so flash comes in. MCK is not flashed for too long. But it's going to be MCK hit a nice split down to Thomas and a nice split down to Brody C, but Thomas so silenced MCK. Will he silence Jacob as well? No, he won't, because Jacob repeaks the nice frag with his AWP and his Tech 9. Rezu in mid cannot get 5. Instead, he's still at 4.
That is just decimation from Jacob over towards the back of that site. He should not have been left standing in any way, shape or form. That should have been a simple frag to connect. Just punish the guy on towards back of boxes when you're pushing in through door. But that drive-by with the Tech 9, well, it's pretty damn swish. And you have to look back towards the economy of CeX now. They can't get going. It's 13-6. Potentially looking at what could be 14-6 very, very soon, unless these Tech 9s and Kevlar can make a huge play.
But it's a double op setup, and they are versus pistol, so maybe not the best buy. But maybe not the best play. Just run through a smoke, but Roma, he's on the ball, then he's getting the frags left here and right. Maybe he senses that the final player is in the smoke, but from what I've seen so far, this might really just be the GG. 14-6. CEX need 10 flawless rounds to take this. CAZ need 2.
Yeah, can already almost just get a sense of what you think is going to happen, judging by the preemptive 16. But at the end of the day, it's pretty much going to come down to this round, because economy-wise, if CeX don't make this one work, it's going to be a scraping going into that last, and we've seen a whole lot of those, and they've all gone the same direction.
Why would you pause at 14-6? Pause for the first gun round of the half after you lost the pistol. Pause for the pistol.
I think
It's too far gone
pausing has always been an issue.
for UK teams.
Yeah, for UK teams.
For a lot of
it's like-
teams, to be fair. Russian ones as well.
Yeah, I think I could agree with that as well. I think domestically is probably the best way to describe it instead of using the prefix of UK. Domestic matchups,
Yeah.
it's always pauses.
I remember, I think it was Zeus or another Russian player saying that in Russia, pause is a sort of like an ego thing. Teams don't want to take pauses because it's a sign of like a white flag. Same can be said for these teams here, especially in the UK where the egos are so high, and the results definitely don't match that.
I mean, you're talking about egos. People always mention, okay, you know, the Fnatic BM pauses and things along those sort of lines.
Astralis did it to Fnatic.
Yeah, it was the reversal, and I'm looking at this and going straight up, these guys aren't Fnatic, they aren't Astralis. Drop the whole facade of it's a white flag or it's anything along those lines. Just pause because you are playing to win. The scoreline of getting to 16 is much more important than whether that guy thinks you're a cool AWPer or not. Because nobody really cares if
It's not about the
random
HLTV ratings. It's not about the highlights.
Yeah.
It's not about the Plays TV.
It's literally about winning the match as a team.
Exactly. So, 2 rounds needed for CAZ and 10 for CEX. 9 if they want overtime. But a very big ask right now because we could be seeing CeX go out in 4th place. It's still got money to the name and Dreamers caught off guard. I mean, you knew there's a player there. Expect the unexpected. Jacob as well as 15 HP, so we could be seeing CEX on the 7th round. Even then, it's still such a tall ask. And even to finish out this round, it's going to be a tall ask because the bomb is still far back. And they're going to boost over the smoke, and this might be given because Aussie is there. Sweet with the flick, gets him, takes him down. Jacob's still low HP. So we shall see how the round unfolds because these players, they've left B. Jacob holding mid with the AWP. Oh, he unscopes the angle as soon as Smooth runs across mid.
The timing ever so uncomfortable at this point for the CT side as they try and rekindle what they have lost. And it's going to be a whole lot of long aggression coming out from CeX. They're sending their entire party aside from just that one wrong short setup. And this is just going to be so difficult. Jacob, he has to hit every single shot. MCK, sorry, has to hit every single headshot. It's just not quite going to happen. Jacob is now with that AWP and, well, more power to him. But he's over towards the B site, heading in towards tunnels. Save, it's certainly on the cards. CAZ are going to place on the back foot, but the big thing for me is I'm curious in their economy because they've been able to string together rounds, and
Observer,
I want to double check where they can string at, which, as expected, just off of how clean they've been, 11,650, 10,450. CAZ, it's not the middle end of life. Even if they don't save the AWP, which Thomas is going to cut it down, they can still afford to rebuy everything they need.
And I think at this point, the careless aggression from players like Dream there, you know, they're not going to keep doing it, are they? They've got...
Well, on that front, usually what you see is...
8 rounds, you know, they're leading 8 rounds ahead. You know, that's when you can take risks. They've got rounds that you can give up. Once it gets closer, we're going to be seeing more of a default play coming from CAZ, and so far, when they play it more strategic as a team, they definitely do fall through. So Roman now flashes the smoke. Can they get anything? Yes, he can. That's a bad smoke there from the T's. Thomas is seen, and the boost comes up from Brody C, but the problem is, though, he's seen so easily, jumps into pit, stays alive. What is our blue? Refaces now. Where's Brody C looking? He's tagged up. The double nade comes in, but he's still alive.
Somehow still they're standing, but look at the sheer amount of damage inflicted. Both sides of the board. MCK, just 20 HP. Similar storyline for Roma on 56, but look at the T side as well. It's just a smattering on both lineups, but who's going to come away with the win at the end of the day is Brody, looking like he wants to just barrage straight through mid. What preemptive smoke, but still gets the pick.
with that. Smear falls, and now Jacob trying to get ball. Gets 2 frags, and Cinder's does trade him.
Look
2
at the top
versus
of mid right
3. Oh, see, he's all to play for. Sorry, Roman's all to play for. But Resolute wins it. And now Dream with the AWP. This isn't really the best. He got a Molotov. He's got aim as well, apparently, because now he knows who the final player is. And Cinder smokes off short. Now he wants the players to push him. This is quite smart, actually. I do like this. The problem is that once he gets the bomb down, Dream can molly off the site. There's only one place that Cinder can be. Oh my god, that's Chris headshots. It's seeing it jumps on the box now. Can he get it done? No. He falls. The AWP should be saved as well. Money's staying strong for CAZ. The bomb does go down, but the problem is the bomb isn't enough when you're playing versus match point.
It's going to be such a tough grind for CeX to make this one work. Now they began the formation of a comeback in previous maps. It always came back to the same moot point that they got so far, but in the end, the scoreline just didn't quite suit them. And that could be the situation they're in right now, 7-15, the longest grind they've had to make so far, and almost definitely going to be an uphill slog. How do they at least want to approach this? It's going to be a double up setup on T side, so clearly looking for some picks. But right now all I'm seeing is the lineup darting straight towards the B tunnels. When you've got a double up setup in play, is this really going to work out in your favour?
Well, with the double up setup, you need to play nice and slow. Thomas is the secondary AWPer for this team, and there he is showing it. Dream does fall. Secondary takes down primary, but anyway, MCK gets 2 frags with that spray down. Brody seemed to get frag while I was talking, so it is the 3 versus 3, but the B bomb site isn't quite CX's yet because they're quite hesitant right now with all to play for. The flash comes in, this could be it. Flash over, he's not going to peek.
MCK fully aware there's native
There
dead
it
onto
is.
his trails. The flash goes out though, finds one, looking for
Greedy.
a second, shuts down Cinder, the greed. It's going to work out in every single favour.
GG.
Smooya will find one, but Aussie is going to cut him down yet again. The same old repetition, the same old phrases, it all but the same. 16-7 to CAZ. I mean, we have ourselves our victors, and we have ourselves our 4th place team.
CX do go home first as they fall short on the final map on Dust 2 versus CAZ.